So yeah, this is going to be a long ass video, so I recommend you to go and grab a popcorn or coffee or protein shake or whatever hell is that time for you to eat, so that you can just relax and enjoy this story time video.
I could stay like this, forever following you. Just don't get too far, and I'll be right where you are.
Hello everyone, this is Calliope, and today I have something like my first heartbreak story for you guys. Actually, it wasn't a heartbreak for me. It was maybe a heartbreak for the other person. And yeah, I'm going to talk about it. So have you guys got your tissue box ready? Because let me tell you that there might be a lot of tears, very less love, and a lot of drama. Trust me, my storytime videos are much better than your Indian television serials. So this was like during college time, and Indian people, I don't know about others, but at least I started dating when I was 16. That was my first dating experience. So I'm not going to really talk about those dating relationships. So my first long-term relationship was, so I think I was in FYBA, and that is like your 13th, in college. And I was around 17 and a half years of age. And that's when I noticed this really shy guy. He was kind of cute. You can't say that he was really good looking, guys, and definitely not my type. You can say that initially two of my relationships, at least, or even before, when I was like just dating, I really did not actually give importance to looks. And I don't know why, because looks are important for me, height is important to me. So of course I'm not going to tell you the name, but this guy was my sister and my brother-in-law's colleague. They all used to work in the same office during that time. So I saw him a couple of times when I visited their office, and I kind of wanted to talk to him. So I figured that he's like a shy person, and I think I sent a message from my sister's phone, and he thought that my brother-in-law was like fooling around, because I said that I took my sister's name and I said that I am this person's sister. How are you doing? Then I said, no, it is me. So then I think I exchanged numbers with him, and first it was like just texting, and then I called him up. So there was just back and forth, a lot of texts, and then phone calls, and that's how I started. Like, it was just hardly in 15 to 20 days I was like, I like this person. So we decided to meet, and I think it was on our first date, or I don't know whether it was on my first or second date itself. He was like, dead serious about like marriage. Now can you imagine, I was just like 17 and a half, still in college. I was not like, I'm not someone to fool around with someone, but then I was definitely not thinking about marriage, for God's sake. So anyway, he said that, he wants to date me, he wants to be in a relationship, but he will only continue this if I'm serious about marriage. And imagine a teenager like me, what am I supposed to do when I have still not figured this out? For me, it was like, I liked him, but I was not sure if I loved him, and definitely marriage was not on my mind. But then I just said yes. Initially, in fact, I said, I guess, that let's see how it goes. But then he was like very serious about marriage, and I thought that if I don't say yes right now, or if I don't pursue it, he might just leave, and I was not ready to let go of him. So I said, okay, yes, but marriage has to wait. I said something like that, like don't scare me or something. I must have said. So that was like my biggest mistake, I feel, you know, because maybe it's like a part of growing up. Like, this was my like first relationship, and even the guys I dated before that, you know, it just made me think that I was too much of a softie and too much of someone who did not communicate that well everything what I wanted, which I would clearly do that now, or I have done that in my past relationships later on, because communication is so important, and saying whatever you want is so important. I don't care if that hurts someone, but saying what you feel like is so important. Sometimes people should just know their place. So yeah, that's how my relationship began. And then let me tell you, it was not a bad relationship as such, you know, because he was, in terms of you know how it is, like he was not a bad boyfriend. He used to do a lot for me. And you know, I think the reason why 3 years just went by like that was because of the fact that he did not really give me a lot of things to complain about. And imagine it, like, you know, he was a fire sign, you know, Sagittarius, and Sagittarians and Taurians are not actually considered the ideal match. But I think we were opposites, but I get along very well with some Sagittarians, most Sagittarians, because they are like, you know, adventurous people. They make me get out of the house because, you know, Taurians can be such a homebody. And yeah, we went for a lot of trips together, and it was just fine, you know. The communication was great. There was not much to complain about. Now, when I started dating, I actually realized that we have a lot of differences. Let me just talk about a typical Indian man, okay? I think, you know, I used to always believe that sometimes living in an environment, your surroundings don't really matter. Your upbringing is not the only thing which matters. It's all about your mentality and your way of thinking, because as you grow up, you know, I'm sure your experiences and your own mind should actually make you take decisions, kind of shape your mind and your thinking. And yeah, you form opinions based on that. But then in this case, I actually realized that he's like a typical Indian man, and he had a problem with my dressing sense initially. So I said, you know what, this is how I am. If you can accept that, it's okay, or I don't care. Like, you know, he came from a place like, you know, it was almost like a slum or chawl, I don't know what to call it. Then he went in a flat system. When you stay in such a place, I think you tend to have, you know, very limited beliefs. But I don't know, I've seen some people who live in slums and still they have broader thinking. So I am not someone who believes that only your surroundings, your upbringing is that, you know, which impacts your opinions. I think it's all about that individual. So anyway, I was born and brought up in a flat system, even if it was far away in the suburbs. But I was always like, you know, someone who was influenced, or, you know, I had that privilege to meet some amazing teachers, and had cable TV, and I had access to amazing music, and I was always fascinated with Western culture. And somehow the environment at my home was not that strict as such. So of course, like, we had that difference in the upbringing. So I told him that, you know, you can't behave like this. If you have a problem with my dressing sense, that is someone, because I love fashion and I love food, and I'm not going to change for anyone. I mean, I'm not that typical average Indian woman who is going to change for anyone, and I don't believe that I need to take anyone's permission, not even after marriage. So then he said, you know what, he'll try to change his thinking and stuff. I mean, we had like kind of difference, because what happened was, there was one instance I remember, that when I went to I don't know if I went to meet my brother-in-law or whether it was to meet him. I went directly from college, and I was wearing a really mini dress, you know, and he's like, what are you wearing? Don't you have any shame? Imagine someone saying that, and that too like my BF. Like, I have never heard those things ever at my place, and I'm not going to hear that from someone else. I mean, even my father has never said that. Who the fuck are you? So I was very, very angry all the way back home. I was like texting. I don't know. I was not even probably receiving his call, or I don't remember what, but I was very angry. I remember that much. And I was like, what the fuck? How dare you? Yeah, so he said that he'll try to, change his thinking or whatever. So yeah, there were these few things which kind of triggered me. Another thing was I did not really find him being very supportive of my work. I don't know, he kind of did not really take it seriously. I don't know, he maybe somehow I feel he thought that it's like, a hobby kind of thing. In 2 years I got my filmmaking course done, and I did not find him being that supportive. He thought that it's just a passing phase and stuff. I don't know why he did not take it seriously, but whatever. Maybe that's like a typical Indian thing, like people don't consider films and stuff as some serious job. You have to have some kind of corporate job, some stable job. Anyways, then yeah, his family, like, it was so funny when I was like going to meet his mom. It was Diwali time, and when he came to my place, and my dad did not behave very well with him. It was very funny. It was really like, I did not like it at all, because my brother-in-law and my sister were also there, and he was extra nice with my brother-in-law, and he was just not good with my ex. And I did not like it at all, because that's not how you're supposed to behave with anyone who comes at home. It's not just because he was my BF. That's not our culture, and that's not our values. So anyway, I was very pissed off because of that. And after that, in the evening, when it came to like visiting his place, it was the first time I was meeting his mom, and everyone forced me to wear salwar kameez, and I don't know, I was wearing maybe jeans and kurta, or I don't remember what I was wearing. So these people really forced me to do something which I didn't want it, so I even cried, because that's Taurian in me. I'm very stubborn about this, and I'm like, I'm not wearing a mini skirt or something, and even if I was wearing, it's like, I want my future in-laws or my boyfriend's family to accept me the way I am, because this is what I am, and I'm not going to change for anyone. So anyway, I cried and stuff because I don't want to do things like which someone else wants, and I even expected my my BF to defend me, but he was like, no. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Anyway, so my mom was like, wear some jewelry, and I'm like, I don't want to wear. So I went in a very angry state, and all the way I was like, really, it's a small thing, guys, I know, but it's about my individuality, and I don't like my own family like forcing me to do something. I hate that whole thing, like you have to dress up in a certain way, you have to behave in a certain way, because that's not me. You guys know I'm not someone who likes Indian wear that much. So anyway, finally we reached there. I don't really remember if he had already told his mom about me, like just to give a heads up, but she was not really happy. I knew that she was not happy with me, first of all, because I'm half Maharashtrian, right? So he was like proper Maharashtrian, and whatever, who cares. So when I went there, she was like, she got some things to, it was Diwali, so we make snacks and stuff, so she got that. Then we started talking and stuff, and imagine in front of me, she is telling her son, or asking her son rather, like, why is she not wearing jewelry? Doesn't she have any gold jewelry? Imagine what I felt that time. So anyway, my BF, he defended me and he said that she has a lot of jewelry. Her mother has, you know, made whatever, a lot of jewelry they have, but she doesn't like. She's a simple girl who doesn't like too much of jewelry. Imagine talking that in front of me. Red flag. I knew this is not going to go down well. You know that instinct that women have. You know, I hated it. I did not get good vibes from her, and I was like, you know what? My dad also behaved not in a really good manner with him. So yeah, it's okay. His mom did not behave. It's almost like tit for tat or something. So when I left from there, I told him. And then when I came home also, I told my mom that, you know what, you people made me wear this salwar kameez forcibly. And you know what, she had to find a fault in, you know, what I was wearing too. I mean, about the jewelry thing. So it's almost like you cannot please the whole world. You cannot please other people. Anytime you try to do something, you know, what they might like, but they'll always try to find a fault. I was really so freaking disappointed or whatever. Anyway, so that did not go down well. Anyway, his other family members were nice to me, like his sister, his nieces. His brother also used to not speak to me or anyone much, but he was okay, like, you know, when I went there. His dad did not speak much. Yeah, his dad and him did not really have a good relationship, so whatever. Anyway, so in the 3 years, like, you know, I kind of understood one thing, that this is not going to end well, because I have been instinctive, but you can say I was not very communicative that time. And yeah, about my work especially. Even his mom and his aunt, you know, whenever I met them, you know, of course, you know, after that, like we used to come, especially I used to go at his place a lot of times, because I had taken a part-time job at his friend's coaching classes. I used to teach English and grammar. This was during my filmmaking course, you know. I thought, you know, it was like a few months only before the exams. I thought, you know, it's okay, I'll get some extra cash. So I used to go to their place many times, and every time I used to go, these people were like always talking about me, you know, getting some other job. I don't know why. Why is it like I have to do something what they want? So a lot of times, even after that, when I started working also, you know, it's not like, you know, even when you're working as an assistant director, it's great if you get a job immediately, but then it's not always that, you know, you will get a job immediately after one project. There might be a gap, you know, like a couple of months, sometimes a year also. So you keep going for interviews, and if it doesn't work out, that's it. So I think there was a gap, you know, between my second and third job, if I'm not wrong. Between my first and second job, not that much. She used to constantly be like, you know, why don't you join some other bank or whatever, those kind of job, because her son was working. Then when my ex went to Dubai, again this thing came up that, you know, why don't you go there? What the hell am I going to do in Dubai? So it was like after my first job, you know, I watched this movie, Jab We Met, and that same day I watched even Aaja Nachle, and I was super happy, especially after watching Jab We Met. I was like, I called him, you know, he was in Dubai, and I was very happy, and I finally wanted to tell him that, see, I have a childhood dream of becoming an actor, and I'm going to pursue it. I had kind of told my parents, I'm not sure if I had already told, but I wanted to share it with the person I was in a relationship with. Made sense, right? And imagine, you know, that whole excitement of telling him, because I was so happy after. You don't know, you know, guys, if any creative people are watching my video, you would understand how it is, you know, how you feel when you watch something amazing, something like, you know, amazing content, amazing music video, amazing video. I get high, you know. That's why I don't need drugs, I don't need like to smoke, I don't need to drink. I am just so happy just watching creative content. I'm just happy working a creative job. I have always been like that. So, only creative people can understand. Anyway, so when I called him, I was super happy after watching something amazing, and I was like, I should tell him now that, I want to be an actor. And it was like, I don't know, I was so heartbroken, crushing my dream even before I even pursued it. It was something like that. So what happened was, he said that, who do you think you are? Even the background dancers in Bollywood movies look much better than you. Imagine what that did to me, because this guy, used to be like, while making love or otherwise, also when I was with him, he used to be like, you are my Priyanka Chopra, you are my Sushmita Sen, or that actor Tanushri Datta. I think he used to even say that because she used to kind of look like me or whatever. Those moments came in front of my eyes and I was like, what? He said this thing to me. I did not know what to say. It just means that, okay, he doesn't believe that I can even do it. Before I've even started to pursue it, I just hung up the phone and I decided to take a long walk, I think. I don't remember if I took a rick. There was a lot of distance from the cinema hall to my house. So I don't know if I took a walk or I just took a rick, but I was super sad. And then after that, I was so sad. I did not know what to say. I think after that he maybe tried calling, and I don't know if I spoke to him. These people think that they can break my, spirit by saying such mean things, but then I'm a strong person. And I said that, you know what? I know that I'm not a beautiful person. I know I don't look like typical Bollywood heroine, but I will still pursue it. I will still do it. Because these people think that, you are going to hurt me by saying the truth, which I already know. You're wrong, my dear. Anyway, that was the first instance which I just could not forget that thing. It just stayed with me, and after that it was all downhill, okay? First of all, I would not blame the distance. It was not about the long distance relationship that time, after he went to Dubai. No, I knew it was not going to work out, because then after that it was like, every time we used to just kind of, whenever he came here also, I kind of felt that he was a different person. I don't know whether money changed him. But let me tell you guys that when I started dating him, he was hardly earning, I don't even remember, probably 10,000 or 20,000. I think that later on it increased. He was not even permanent, I think, at his at this job initially. After that he got, in foreign bank, and then after that he went to Dubai. Let me tell you, he used to not even speak good English. He was not really confident about speaking English. I made him speak in English, and I told him to interact with his friends and colleagues in English so that his English improves, and that will help him to work in Dubai. मैं एक चीज़ ऐसा कोई बोलेगा तो मैं भूलती नहीं हूँ, first of all. And what is the point having someone, like in your life, having your boyfriend who is someone like that? It just didn't make sense to me. So yeah, I think that was the first instance where there was like, cracks started showing up. After that it was seriously downhill. Whenever he came also, it was like I felt that he was a changed person. I don't know whether it was about the money. I just constantly felt that this guy has changed, and there was a kind of ghamand type aa gaya tha. And once he said something like, I went to this place which was owned by Dawood Ibrahim, and I was like, this guy Dawood Ibrahim is, a terrorist, like he did something in Mumbai. He's a criminal, and you're going to someone's restaurant and you're feeling proud about it. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't say that all politicians are amazing people. I mean, they are also chore, they are also criminals in a way, a lot of them. But then this guy, when you know that he has done something wrong, so it's all about ethics, and it's all about like being patriotic for me. So I kind of started seeing so much of change, because initially I thought that he was a very humble person. So imagine when you start getting more money and All these things also, like, it makes you actually see that, okay, how people can change. And yeah, so that's what happened, and the way he used to talk, everything changed. Then of course I got more gifts, more imported gifts, but then that did not actually make up for the fact that I knew this is not going to work out. Then we were always having these talks, or rather arguments, about marriage. So by that time, I think I was like 20, 21, 20s, you can say. When I was around 20, the talk started about marriage. And imagine, how do you expect me to get married when I had like so much of ambition? I wanted to do this, I wanted to pursue an acting career, and I was definitely not ready for marriage. Now all these things definitely made me think, and there were a lot of times like where actual breakup bhi ho gaya tha, and like we were just fighting and we were just making up, and then we were just again back to square one. When the cracks are visible, it's very difficult to actually keep that relationship going, because you can see that it's not going to work out. And this was a big deal. All these things, like, what he used to say sometimes, all these things kind of made me really angry, because it was not just about marriage talks. I used to always ask about my career, and I did not see him being like serious about it. It was like I felt that he always just thought that this is just like some kind of hobby, and he's like, you know what, you do it in Dubai also. I mean, excuse me, Dubai is not like LA. I would be ready to go there. And anyway, I would never, like, jump at the opportunity of being with someone who's rich just for the heck of it. For me, money has not mattered, because I have said this before also, like, I have seen enough money. My dad was a businessman, so for everyone it's different. For some people this much is enough. For some people it's all about the money and the gold diggers and all those people. For me, it was never important. For me, respect is important, love is important, and especially my career is like the most important thing. My goals, that is the only thing which has kept me going. My BF not supporting my career was a big deal. So anyway, I started losing interest in him. And a lot of times, even when I was on my projects, of course, during my second job also, when I was on the shoot, I could not really speak to him much. And somehow I don't know, I was very focused on work, that is there. But then, whenever there was talks about marriage and stuff, those arguments just made me kind of lose interest. And especially when I could see that he's just not interested in my career, I could just see the relationship just crumbling. And you can say that after 3 years, I should have just broken up, but I just kind of dragged it for 6 more months, and then it was just too much. And when he finally came again to meet me, he used to come like in a couple of months. Okay, like that time, I don't know, there was a 6-month gap, I think, if I'm not wrong, or maybe 3 months gap, I don't remember. So Dubai, so like Bombay is not that far. Now by that time, I had almost realized that I'm not in love with this person. Or maybe even if it was love, I kind of just lost interest, because I cannot be with someone who doesn't think I am someone, or my ambitions and goals and career choice is something. And of course, he doesn't believe that I'm beautiful enough to pursue an acting career. I mean, come on, so many amazing actors, the brilliant actors, don't look like Barbie doll, or don't look like good looking. They're not like just about looks. Like if you see Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Irfan Khan, Rajkumar Rao, Konkana Sen Sharma, so many amazing actors who are very average looking. Now it's all about, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So yeah, average looking people also can be attractive, especially because they are so talented. I should have not just dragged that relationship for more 6 months, because it was almost like I was not even interested in talking to him. I used to kind of avoid his calls. And of course, the fact that I was not getting my third job, that was also kind of frustrating. When it finally came to breaking up, now let me tell you, by this time I was actually getting close to someone else. So if you consider this cheating, maybe. But when I actually analyzed it, because I used to feel very guilty about this fact, I actually realized that relationship, the first relationship, was already over in 3 years. Because of a lot of things we were actually going through, no third person came and broke our relationship. It was him. It was this incompatibility, compatibility issues, and different goals. Of course, he was around, I think, 27 or something when he decided to get married or whatever. Anyway, so he was at that age where he wanted marriage and he wanted kids. And forget about kids. I was not even sure that I want to get married at that time. I was, I think, around 21, and that was that when we decided to break up. It was bad because both our families knew. So I don't know why suddenly my parents became like, typical filmy parents. From this chilled out parents, they suddenly became very filmy. And there was a lot of drama when he came to my house. And as I said, I was not very communicative that time, so I did not want to tell what are the reasons why I'm breaking up. But slowly, after 3 years, you can say there was no love in that relationship, or there was no feelings involved. I just wanted to get rid of him so badly. And what should I tell? My parents did not understand, because my parents have had a love marriage, and they are, of course, my dad is like, quite older to me, so they are of that generation where it's like you just date one person and get married to him. No matter what, you have to stick together. I'm not from that generation, so why should I be with someone who's just giving me so much heartache, and who doesn't support my career, who doesn't support my goals, and who said so many mean things to me? I mean, see, he was not a bad person, but there were a lot of things he said which hurt me. And it's not about keeping any grudge. It was not about the things he said. It was about the fact that it's not going to work out, because he had different goals by that time, and I had different goals. So it's okay, When, at my place, it was almost like an intervention at my place. That everyone, mom and dad were like, asking me and grilling me, why the hell am I breaking up? And my dad had super doubt about the fact that I am dating this other guy. It's because of him I'm breaking up, which is kind of true. But then that was not the thing. I was breaking up because I was not happy with him since 6 months or more. I should have done it long back, and I refused to say. I said I don't love him anymore. That's all I had to say. I didn't want to say that what all he said to me about my looks, or how he doesn't take my career seriously, how his mother has always said to leave this career and probably just go to Dubai and work at a bank or something, as if getting jobs is so easy. And he had booked a new home in Dubai also, so uski life se kuch set thi. And fun fact, guys, he got married within 6 months after we finally broke up. So everything is like kind of destined together. Everything is written. I should have actually freed him up before that only, like I said, after 3 years, because it was not working out. When you are with someone for 3 years, it's a long time, and you kind of get used to that comfort level. At least for me, like, I'm a Taurus, so earth signs don't really like change, and I kind of got used to that comfort. And maybe he was in love with me, or I don't know, whatever it was for him. I should not judge that. That was the only difficult part of my life when it came to my parents, because I realized that even your own blood can kind of turn against you. because I kind of felt alone, guys. I kind of felt like I am alone. I don't have anyone. That was that 1 year when my dad did not even wish me. Okay, this was like, just before my birthday. So I will never forget that day. And of course, later on I spoke about this topic, and I was like, you should believe your own daughter, you should stand by her side. Anyway, after a few days, when last time he came to see me at my place or something. After that, I went and I was like sleeping early, and my dad just came in the bedroom and he's like, it's okay, whatever happens, we'll see. He said in Hindi, jo bhi hoga dekha jayega. I don't know, maybe my parents felt that I'm an emotional sensitive person, so this is like a heartbreak for me. They thought that I won't be able to get over it, but they did not know that I wanted to get rid of it like 6 months back itself. And I think, I don't know why they feel that I'm very sensitive. The fact is that all these relationships or all these experiences have just made me strong. So so that's what happened. And guys, let me tell you, this relationship just taught me to respect yourself, respect your career and goals, protect them. Don't let anyone, not even your BF, not even people close to you, tell you what is right for you, or make fun of your goals and make fun of your career choice. It actually taught me like to not be dependent on anyone, like especially when it came to self-confidence and believing in myself. I was like, sometimes even people from your own blood can like turn against you. I don't know if I experienced a kind of depression after that period of time. I had already started dating the second guy, and it was a very tense tense environment at my house, because my dad was like, he suspected me of having an affair with that guy. Anyway, I'll talk about that later in some other story time. But yeah, guys, this really made me understand that people can change. Just believe in yourselves and don't let anyone tell you what you have to do, or don't let anyone tell you that whether you will be good at this thing, good at this career. And a lot of times I feel some beliefs, that inherent jo beliefs hoti hai, like those opinions will not change. I feel, because I feel this person, like even though the relationship did not work out, I kind of thought that did money change him, or he was just like this only. His thinking was, kind of like typical Indian man. And surprisingly, my sister also called me up after the relationship ended. I think my mom called up, or I don't know how she came to know, and she's like, oh, why are you breaking up and this and that. I don't know what. It's not that she was like so supportive of the relationship, and as you know, I'm not close to my sister. I don't discuss my dating life with her. So I told her, I was very angry, during that time, because everyone was like saying things. So I told her like, why don't you just shut up, or do you want me to open my mouth and talk about your relationships? I can be very mean like that. I mean, basically she is not the person I go for advice to, so I don't want to basically hear opinions and advice from people I don't need opinions and advice from. So guys, that's what it taught me. And just be yourself. Even when you're going to meet your BF's family, I feel I should have just worn what I wanted. So I think that was the first relationship. I don't know if I was even in love with that person, because I was too young, and there was, to be honest, there was not much chemistry also. That passion was missing. It was, I feel it must be like an arranged marriage setup. Anyway, the longest relationship, and still I was not in love with this person. Or I don't know what it was, because I was too young, guys, so I don't know what it was. But anyway, this was my first relationship. So the heartbreak was kind of from my side, because I think, I kind of hurt him if he loved me, or maybe in his mind he thought he loved me. I don't know what it was. Yeah, after that he got married and he has 2 kids and he's happy there. So that's it from me, folks. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment below and let me know what do you think about my first relationship story. If you want me to do more of these story time videos, let me know. I'll definitely do it sometime. I think today I was just not really having much of ideas. So I thought, okay, let me just do this. And please share this video with your friends and please subscribe. If you're liking my channel, my videos, you should subscribe. And if you want to check out my last video, it's somewhere here. Until next time, it's bye-bye from me. Take care.
You're a dream that I could finally see. I just want